There was no evidence to support the president's claim that President Barack Obama offered wiretapping of Trump Tower.
Presenting sounds of a lemon. All of your favorite hits from 5-time winner, Worst Journalist of the Year, Don Lemon. Hits such as Black People Pull Up Your Pants, Teeth Are a Weapon versus Rape, and White People Are Out to Get Me, Kyle's Got a Gun, and The Two-Finger Shuffle. Find these and more in Sounds of a Lemon, the worst journalist of all time.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. You may remember the esteemed journalist Don Lemon in his anchor chair at CNN, anchoring the prime time, asking all the tough questions like, should the royal family pay back reparations to black people that they didn't own, right? And then getting wrecked like this.
Want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And when across the entire world, when the slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
It's an interesting discussion.
It's still kicking around. All right, so it's an all-timer. So Don Lemon, that job didn't last. It lasted for like 25 years, shockingly, but it didn't end up lasting. Don Lemon got fired, okay? Don Lemon pissed off all the right people at CNN. He got fired. He should have been should have just fired himself the moment that the royal family experts like, actually, it's black people who should be paying reparation. Black kings in Africa should be paying reparations to the white naval men of the British who tried to stop the slave trade. So Don Lemon, from getting fired at CNN and get fired by Elon Musk. And we've played those videos extensively. They're wonderful. I hope you go back and watch all of them. I certainly do when I want to warm my little soul. But I got to tell you, Don Lemon ain't done yet. Don Lemon, who we have 1 million more followers than on X, and we have a lot more followers than on YouTube, is back to posting videos and getting, let's see here, 2,000 views, 5,000 views, 4,000 views, 1,000 views on a video that was posted 9 days ago, 5,000 views, and boy, 6,000 views. Got it. Now there are some others. there's some that do well. You never know. You never know who's paying for what. Look at this, 2,000 views from 3 weeks ago. Big Pecker energy. Taylor Lawrence. 6,000 views. Anyway, Don Lemon decided he needed some more relevancy, and so he went over to our friends at the Nelk Boys. We like Nelk a lot. We think they're really funny, and we love that they support Donald Trump. And so Don Lemon went and did a interview with the Nelk Boys. Now, I encourage you to go watch the whole thing. It was just posted. But this is the clip that they used to promote the podcast, which is Don Lemon trying to make the case of why he should vote for Joe Biden. Why to vote for Joe Biden. And let's just say, didn't go the way that Don Lemon thought. Here we go.
That makes sense.
So who are we voting for this year?
Who am I voting for this year?
Like who? Yeah, who we all?
Well, this is something that I could not do when I worked at CNN. Who am I going to vote for? Joe Biden.
Why?
Because I think he's doing because he's doing a good job for the country. I think that I love what he's done for prescription drugs for people. I love that he is improving the economy. I love that we have, even
Is
though
he
they're-
improving the economy?
Yes, he is. This economy is better than the Trump economy. And I know that's tough to hear, but it's the truth.
Isn't inflation and like gas prices through the roof?
Yeah, but the economy is so good. I mean, look at the economy that he inherited from Donald Trump. Donald Trump inherited.
Well, because that was during COVID.
Well, okay, but still, that's
No,
the
not
reality.
still.
It's reality.
Yeah, but
Donald
still,
Trump inherited.
like you said, that was a crazy
Donald Trump
time.
inherited an
that was
economy.
a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
That's your words.
Okay, Donald Trump inherited an economy that was on fire, right? And then did not do well.
Well,
from the
COVID
economy.
though, that was a thing.
COVID was a big part of it, but
Yeah.
still, that's the reality. And so
But it's hard to measure.
Joe
It's like
Biden has
handicapping.
taken a COVID economy, which was terrible by your own admission,
But he can't
has-
even stand up.
but it doesn't matter. We had a
That matters.
No, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you why. Because
Other
we had-
world
we
leaders
had a
see him
president-
and they think he's weak.
We had a president who was in a wheelchair.
Well, he should get in a wheelchair. I think
There are leaders in other countries who don't have the physical.
He should just stop taking the stairs, right?
But what about?
Are you guys going to let me answer the question?
Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Get the guy on an escalator.
Yeah, I think that you are, again, I think you're being ageist, which was what I was trying to defend old people from the whole Nikki Haley comment. I think that you're being ageist. I think that Joe Biden is a fine president. He's doing great things for the country. I really do. Is he perfect? No. Is he perfect on immigration? Can he improve? Yes. Was the Afghanistan pullout, not good? Yes.
Horrible.
Messy.
Yes.
Horrible.
But every president has good and bad moments. And so I think in this moment now, I would rather a president who believes in democracy and in the Constitution rather than someone who says, when I get in office, I'm going to go after my political enemies. I would prefer, a president who did not incite an insurrection. I would prefer a president who did not have 84 charges against him and, who didn't have cases and who didn't, so that's.
But the Bidens
that's
have
just
had
me.
cases on them and people just cover them up. Like the Hunter Biden laptop.
Hunter Biden is not the president. Hunter Biden has no influence on culture at all.
He snuck blow into the White House.
He is-
He's got to have some influence.
Stuff happening in
Yeah.
China, it's-
And I'm not saying, look, Hunter Biden is an issue, right? He's obviously a troubled person.
I want to party with him. Don't get me wrong, but he is.
But he has no influence on culture. He has no influence on government. He's, it's interesting for the news media and for the right wing to, talk about. It's interesting palace intrigue, but it means nothing.
I just think we
at the
can't
end
have
of
a
the day.
president that can't speak.
Well, yeah, that's one.
We can't. Don, we can't.
But here's the thing: you can find instances of Donald Trump not being able
But
to
here,
speak.
can I?
No, he's a great speaker. He's a
Wait,
great
but can I tell you one
speaker.
thing?
I've talked to him in person.
He's a good speaker, but
I
Sharp.
talked to him personally. I know, but he has his moments. I know him personally. I know Joe Biden personally. If I prefer someone who's going to put good people around him and who's smart enough to do that. The man is doing a good job. He has arthritis in his spine, so he has a little trouble walking. Okay, still a good
He's
president.
got arthritis in the brain, I think, too, or something.
well, here's the other thing.
I don't agree with
So with
that.
the power.
Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to go to the Nelk Boys YouTube and check them out. If you don't already know them, a lot of people know them. Full Send Podcast up here is where you can find that podcast. And I think it's hilarious. Don Lemon getting a dose of reality from the Nelk Boys. Didn't know I needed it. Straight into my veins. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe to make Don Lemon cry. See ya.